Yeah, hi everyone, and welcome to our weekly meeting. It's like we'll go through the weekly digest as Attila suggested. And for this week, we have, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. We have the financial officer guide, and that is provided by the BuyHawk. And this is their guide for their CFOs. It's like what is needed for a CFO to go through the teleworking process. It's like this is what they are covering here. It's like they are talking about the pandemic that accelerated this home working process, plus the key learning for CFO, what he has to learn, and mainly they are the challenges that he will be facing. It's like the security, the visibility, and the cross-border complexity. It's like the security is like it covers the cyber attacks. It covers is like remote connections for employees. And for the visibility is mainly about cost because we are talking about finance here. And for the cross-border complexity is like recruiting remote employees. And for the second one, it is this one. It is from Paytem. It is internet company, where the biggest companies in India is like including Infosys, Tata Consultancy, Wipro. Those they are asking their employees to go back to their work. But this one, Paytem, is not forcing their employees to go back to the office. And concerning our M4 module, like maybe I will pass the floor to Hannah to explain the onboarding process. And then I will come back and I will explain something or I will say something about the coaching.
So here we have the onboarding process. 1 minute. The onboarding process is a visual interpretation of activities and related resources aiming to conclude teleworking agreement in the form of amendment to the contract of company, employee, and external entity. Here is a generic onboarding sub-process model as part of generic telework process landscape of the company. The process is demonstrated in 3 lines: teleworker, approvers, and agreement input data collection tasks. The onboarding process is triggered by a request of any actor. Actors are the HR unit, approvers, and teleworkers are part of the agreement. Further approvers of the agreement can be supervisor of the teleworker and the Telework Process Manager of the company. The agreement input data collection is divided into 3 tasks: specification of the business scope of teleworker, definition of workplace, profile, and the modes. Detailed practical example of these tasks are given in the next lecture. The fourth important task is the proposed agreement draft approval by the approvers and also notification of concerned other authors about the agreement. These tasks, usually automated by a workflow app, triggers update of the agreement data in the HR file of teleworker and request for teleworker learning of support services he is entitled to use in his new mainly remote workplace. In the next lecture, we learn on practical example what input data are collected for completing a telework agreement.
The onboarding example is like maybe someone from Novitech can explain it because it is mainly in Slovak. But this is where the onboarding examples, like we are taking Novitech as an example and how they're going to deal with the teleworking. It's like there is all this stuff that they will be covered, the scope of telework, the workplace control, the teleworking fixed weekly schedule, teleworking flexi time weekly schedule, and horizontal services of the teleworker. Telework performance evaluation and access to core business IT system. Let's jump to the next lecture, and this is the very important one. It's like we're talking about onboarding agreement for a teleworker. It's like this is mainly like for employees that they are working in a company asking for telework. But sometimes it's like it covers even those that they are not in the company. It's like the hiring, the recruitment, the welcome week for the new recruit. That all should be done through tools. But for someone who works for the company, it's like there is a legal agreement between the teleworker and the company. And like Hannah explained, it's like that is the process how the telework should work. Someone apply for a telework, and then his supervisor, the HR, or anyone in the organization that he is an approver should approve this for the teleworker. It's like you can see here, they are the one that they will be responsible for the approving. It's like the first one and the main one is the teleworker when he apply for it. Then the HR unit, if there is a finance unit, supervisor of the teleworker. Is like mainly this is how it works in practice. It's like a teleworker ask for telework agreement, he will speak to his supervisor. And then the whole process that Hannah spoke about it will take place. For the coaching part, it's like this is what we have here, and we have examples on onboarding remote employees, stories and lessons learned from onboarding teleworkers. If I will click on one of them, this is where it will take us. And here they are explaining how they will hire remotely. And back to the coaching, it's like this is another thing that we are selling with this course. Is like, as you know, the course is one part and the coaching is the other part. Because we are training a Telework Process Manager, I think coaching is a very important for this phase. That we can help them with their assignment, that we can help them to go through all what it need to be known for them to implement this teleworking process. It's like for our coaching, is like this is how we do it. We run a discovery phase, and that is like by interviewing our telework process manager or the potential telework process manager or the client, as we call it in our platform, Teachable. And we let them take a survey. And based on that survey, we create groups that include people of similar work profile. Then we design the session, taking in consideration the group needs and the profile of clients. One of our coach will design the sessions to meet the expectation of that client. And last, we share the schedule. It's like when we set the coaching session, it's like there is a calendar that it comes with it, and that is that we share it with our clients.
If you have a question, maybe you haven't the microphone, you can write your question to the chat.
What I see here on the screen is the talent LMS, 3 ways to onboard remote employees. What's the relationship between that and the course?
This is just this is mainly just for reading. It's like for people that they will go through these places, or we are providing them with this materials that they can read. How we can recruit a remote employee. It's like something like the challenge of onboarding a remote workforce, and they are listing some stuff there. It is just for general knowledge for the one that they will attend our course. It's like if I will go back, it's like we have this one, the 6 steps to great remote onboarding process and what to avoid. It's like just mainly reading for our clients that they can have an idea about what the telework, what onboarding a teleworker process is all about. It's like for the existing ones, the one that they are in place, those they will just apply for telework. But sometimes it's like there are external teleworkers. It's like someone he is 100% remote. And those they are covering those for the 100% remote teleworkers. But for the one that he is in hybrid or he does a couple of days or couple of days a week or a month, that is like he will apply for a telework. Laszlo?
It was interesting and useful, but we have to read it and study it.
Yeah, it's like there is a lot of reading. It's like that is what it is, this teleworking process all about. I think people they are used to it. It's like I'm sure that in Novitec many people that they are doing homework. It's like just to make it legal. It's like onboarding telework is like that is a legal agreement.
Mm-hmm. And to make it more efficient.
Yes.
And maybe make conscious what you did unconsciously.
Yep. Because now it's like if I will check the friends of mine, it's like most of them, some of them they do 5 weeks a day, 5 days a week, teleworking. It's like home office, but it is not legal. It is just an agreement between the manager and the employee. But there is no contract signed for that. It's like they're still subject of the old contract. It's like they have a contract for an employee on promises. But the telework will give them that flexibility. It's like someone can work from anywhere, anytime. And if you've seen the example of onboarding telework, it's like there is the flexi time. The flexi time, this means the teleworker can work when it suits him. Because there is some telework, is like that is more like telecommuting. It's like you go to work, but you go to work from home. It's like the only thing that you don't travel to your workplace. But you have to attend work on the normal hours. It's like some companies, they will force their employees to be at work from 9 to 3. It's like this, they are the business hours. And after that is like the 2 hours left, it's like from 8 to 9 and from 3 to 5. Those, they will be flexible. It's like those, they can do, utilize them the way they like.
If you want, you can tell about the coaching.
I did.
Maybe you made some new things.
No, I did. It's like this is how we run the the coaching. It's like we go through a discovery phase. Then based on that discovery phase, when they take the survey, we create groups for the people that they have the same profile. Then we design the session. It's like taking into consideration all the group's needs and profiles of the client. And then we set schedule for those coaching sessions. It's like maybe something else is like that we create separate coaching for different modules, because now we are creating just one coaching session that it covers all of them. But maybe because there are 7 modules, that maybe every single module will create a different coaching session for. It's like I'm just summarizing what we do with the coaching, that we run a discovery phase, we create groups, we design sessions, and we share the schedule. It's like this is the 4 main points that we are using to create our coaching sessions. It's like the discovery phase is to get the teleworkers to take our surveys created by Laszlo, and then based on that, we create groups for people that they share the same profile. And according to the groups, then the sessions will be designed separately. And when the design is complete, we share that schedule with the group or the people that they share the same profile. It's like usually it's like maybe it can be just one person, because the coaching through Teachable, it is individual coaching. But when we create a calendar, it's like maybe we can gather more than one in one session.
Maybe you can mention that you still can reuse the sessions what you create for one user for one
Yes,
client.
that is more from training for the teachable. It's like that is like if we go to the teachable coaching part, it's like when you create a milestone, that milestone you can use it wherever you want. If you saved it, it's like the same checkbox that I showed you in the bottom of when you create coaching or a milestone, then it's like that you will use it many times. All what you need to do is like when you add it for a new client, you go and do your changes, and that change doesn't affect the first one. It's like it will be more specific for that individual that you sended him your milestone.